Okay. Hard fought today, and I think give Samford players and coaches some credit. I thought they, they've done some things with the way they're playing the last couple games against Memphis and us that has, been a little bit more difficult to play against. Slow the game down, less possessions, and it's one of those deals where they were playing pretty packed in a zone, and we just missed a million shots. And, that's not easy to coach or fix or play. Shooting and trying harder to make shots is like trying to try harder on a 4-foot putt. It's not easy. So we just had to stick with it. I thought defensively, actually, we played pretty well in the game and showed decent discipline. This is a team that is a high-volume three-point shooting team and a team that can make a lot of threes. They've made 16 and 15 threes in games, and that's how they're going to beat you. And so I thought we did a good job of really trying to stay with shooters when we could, and we forced 22 turnovers. Most of the turnovers, which was good on their part, didn't result in fast break points for us. So we just kind of had to keep grinding and play. And, I thought we showed a little bit of resiliency, which is good to see when we finally – got behind late in a home game. And guys came out of a timeout, played well, and executed well down the stretch. Questions?
Team's off to the best start since 08, 09. You kind of feel pretty good where you are right now?
Yeah, I'm just pleased with the way our guys are handling their business. I think we're approaching things very well, but, we've been the favorite in several games and have done what we're supposed to do, which is good because there have been a lot of upsets in college basketball, and they're going to be. Again, the nature of the three-point shot now makes these games more dangerous than people realize. So I'm excited with the way this group has been coachable and how we're learning and improving and excited to see where we go. We're in a little bit of a difficult stretch here with all the things we have off the court with school. Last week was a hard week for us. We had a lot of guys with, for whatever reason, it seemed like more work and papers and presentations, and we took 2 days off and really, we're limited in some of our practice time just, because of all the things that we had going on, and we'll be that way again this week with finals. So because of that, I was a little worried about how we'd play today and probably feel the same way about Saturday. But, again, I'm proud of the way our guys battled back and the start that we're off to.
Brad, was there anything you said there before that you went on that 19-2 run that kind of got them going?
Yeah, I got after him. It was really the first time I've gotten after him. It was the first time all day that I'd gotten after him, and first time in a while that I really had to get after him a little bit. Just about, it's not always going to be how you want it to be. The game isn't always easy. It's not, if you're just going to rely on making shots and that's how we're going to win, we got to figure out other ways to win. And we better continue to defend. We better defend better. We better figure out a way to get an effort basket, whether it's offensive rebound, whether it's transition, knock a ball loose, turn them over. You better go figure out another way rather than just making shots. I said, I think we'll make a shot or two here, and this thing will feel like we're okay. But, we're down 5, and now you better wake up and be ready to play here in your own gym. Those guys down there, I made them stop and look down at the other bench. Those guys feel pretty good about themselves right now. And the longer this goes, the more you're going to allow them to believe that they're going to win. And you better snap out of it and get after them right away. And thankfully we did and made a couple shots. Gabe made a couple shots right away, and we got a couple stops. We got a couple transition baskets. Dante got an offensive rebound basket, and we were able to create some separation.
You had a week off almost, and you come back and a little sluggish. Now you got another week off, and you're going to play Florida. How do you keep from having that, not being so sluggish to start off?
We've actually been sluggish in several games, and I don't really know why it is because our guys aren't showing that in the locker room. Like they're ready to play, they're excited, they're almost too ready. Sometimes I think you can't do much about that. I mean, you have to give the guys the time they need to handle the business they have as student athletes, and all you can do is try to get them as prepared as they can be, and then they got to go perform. And, one of the things that's for today's game where is a little bit misleading is, and I told them this at halftime, I said, guys, we're not playing that poorly. we're just not making shots. We don't have, like, I've come in here at halftime in a couple games and I said, guys, we're not playing very well. We got 9 turnovers. We've messed up 1, 2, and 3 in defense. Like, we're not very focused. We're not playing at a really good level. In this game, it wasn't so much like defensively we're doing all these things wrong, and then offensively we've got all these turnovers and we've got all these bad plays we've made. We just weren't making any shots. Now, we took a couple too many threes. We've got to do a better job of finding Eli. I thought they did a good job of packing it back in. I thought they gave us some open shots, and as we missed them, you know, again, there's not much more you can do. Sometimes it's not open because they are so back, and that was a little bit the case. And then they fouled us some, you know, when we had to go make free throws, and we kind of weren't shooting great from the free throw line for a while there. So it's not like at halftime I could tell them, hey, we got to change what we're doing, or we're not executing this, this, and this. We're just not finishing plays. We're not making free throws. We're not making shots. And there's not as many possessions as some other games where you can get away with that with some other things. And, you know, this thing has got the potential to go to the last 8 minutes as a tight game if we can't get it turned around. And obviously it went to about the last 8 minutes. So
Dante had 16 of his 20 in the second half. A year ago, could he have been able to do that? Would he been able to?
I think some of it is just he's in more positions now because, you know, he's another, I don't want to say big guy, but like he's around the basket more in some ways because there's one less bigger body on offense down there with Jerron not being there. You know, it would be Jerron and City last year, or Jerron and Eli. And Dante has kind of had to play three-point line most of the time. You can't – occasionally you could get him down in there, but it's hard to do that anymore with the size of the players, offensive and defensive. Now with, you know, Marquise and Gabe and Shelton out on the court on the perimeter, there are more opportunities for him to get to the basket, to get behind the defense, to get in transition, to go offensive rebound more. And I think he's finding those opportunities. And I think a couple times he's made some great back cuts, and our perimeter guys have found him on cuts to the basket because now there's not another big guy under the basket. There's not two. There's only one on one side. And so he's gotten a couple dunks out of that too this year for sure.
Good.
All good? Thank you all for coming.